Remember all the bad ones and not the good ones. Isn't that true? Because we're programmed. And you know why you were programmed? I'll tell you why. When you was a little boy or little girl and you sat in this desk, and it was a huge desk, but now looking at it, it's like a little bitty desk. You can't imagine little people can sit in that thing. But while you're sitting in this desk, above the chalkboard was the alphabet. And this was a huge task. I mean, you had to memorize every letter. I mean, that was scary. I didn't even know how to write my name. I knew my name was Robert. The teacher wrote on the chalkboard, R-O-B-E-R-T. She said, Robert, that's your name. I said, okay. And she gave me this big pencil with this lead in it. She said, put it on that paper right there. So I'm turning this paper, trying to make it look like that up there. And she said, you can't turn the paper. And so this huge task that we had to conquer, which was gigantic, just like the task I set before you today, guys. This task of memorizing and putting the alphabet, and you know, they lied to you. I want to tell you, the teachers are big fat liars. I mean, I've interacted with enough of them. I know they lie. They said there are 26 letters of the alphabet you had to memorize. There's 26 capital letters you had to memorize. 26 small letters you had to memorize. And just when you got good enough, they changed it to cursive letters. There's 26 cursive capital letters, 26 small ones, and you know you can't mix and match. And you know, from those 26 letters, you can combine them in all kinds of ways, and you can say just about anything. But at the time when they set you in front of that, it was big. It was so huge, and it was scary, wasn't it? Just like sitting in the car for the first time, or sitting next to your son, and he's learned how to drive a standard for the first time. Getting on the highway. But you survived it. And this task that's set before you, it will be easy too. Right now, it just seems scary because you hadn't developed that skill yet of letting go. And that's what we're going to learn how to do. What we will do is we'll identify and release and let it go. And the reason why you are an expert at what's wrong is because when they handed you the paper back, the one that you made all those letters on, they only marked in red what you did wrong. Then you become an expert at what's wrong. And no wonder why you're so good at feeling bad. You're an expert. And you should give yourself a hand. I mean, seriously, give yourself a hand. You're not broken. That's the awesome thing about it. There's nothing wrong with you. You just went to the wrong school.
When I started thinking about it, when we do this dance, we choose another person that has the same problems. How the heck do we have power enough to choose? I mean, it says something about how brilliant the unconscious is. I mean, it can pick that person up and convince that person that they should dance with us, and that person has their problems that match with us. Mm-hmm. And for those patterns that you were describing, the ability to be able to pull that off. Every 10 years, I'm going to find exactly that person that will be similar, or I'll bring it out of that person. They're close enough that I can manipulate them with my unconscious to dance with me the way that matches that pattern.
Well, see,
that is a very powerful statement about us.
Yeah. Now, let me explain to you why it's like that. You want to know why? I have this experience, and this is a true experience, and I've shared it before. I had this experience with my father, okay? And I'm this little boy at 5 years old. All right, now when I was 5, I wasn't 5 years old. I was in the 5th grade. All right, here it is. I was chased up a tree by some boys in the neighborhood, and my father pulled in the driveway next to me. All right, and then I climbed down the tree and I ran over to my dad. He saved me because these boys were being mean to me. Well, my dad stepped out of the car and he pulled a hammer out and he beat me with the hammer right in front of these boys. Now, this memory used to hurt me. It was so big I couldn't even think about it or talk about it. You notice it doesn't bother me at all now. But let's say, for example, that memory, I can't even go there, like the ones you don't want to go to. All right? Now, this memory is right here in the back of my unconscious mind, right on the shelf that I would never go there. All right? Now, this is the law of attraction. Whatever you hold inside your mind, you attract that of the same kind. All right? Now, this program is a how-to. So it's back here, and I'm driving along, or I'm dating around, looking around, and guess what happens? This projects right through my mind, and I'll say, you're just a little too good for me. I want that one right there because it's something I know back here. You see it? Because even though consciously, when you go sit in your car and you're going to drive, you jump in the car, and next thing you know, you're arriving at work, and you look back and go, well, hell, I don't remember stopping at the stoplight. I hope I didn't run over anybody. Because unconsciously, it drives without you thinking about the first time you sat in the car. It does it naturally without you thinking. That's why, Dan, we will find whoever it is, whatever relationship model you develop, it just drives. Why do I ask you to go back to the past? To change it. To release its energy. Now, if you don't go there, what's going to happen? This model, this experience, will show up in another pair of shoes. And then you keep going, why do I keep doing the same thing over and over again? Why do I keep dating the ones who would cheat on me? Why do I keep having the ones who's going to have affairs? Why do I have the ones that keeps humiliating me, rejecting me, and I'm feeling the same basic feelings? Why? Because inside of us, we have it alive. And you won't go there. And then here's the problem. I just love this stuff. This is my father. I love my daddy. I don't want to let this go. This represents my whole life. If I let it go, who will I be? Well, you could be happy. I mean, seriously. That's the problem. You know what? We identify with this, and since this was my father that gave it to me, I honor my father, and I would never let it go. Why? Well, this is my essence. This is my personality. Guys, that is not your personality. It's a program. Any hula dancers in here? Hula dancers? There's two of them. And you know why they're hula dancers? It's because they experience hula dancing. And you know what? You are not a hula dancer. You have a skill of hula dancing. You're not rejection and you're not a failure. You have this great ability to feel rejected and to feel like a failure. It's not you unless it's on your birth certificate. Do you hear me? If your name is Failure Smith, then I guess you are a failure. If your name is Loser Smith or whatever, it's not on your birth certificate. You are, and this is the truth, you are a dynamic person who is always changing. You are a dynamic person who can change exactly how they feel and what they represent in the world. That's who you are. You're a learning machine.